Zdravím, máme tady live reakci, kterou natáčím víceméně mimo livestream. Podíváme se na reveal 3.28 Mirage ligy, co se chystá. A v podstatě jdeme rovnou na to, co víme, nebo co se ví, nebo spíš co se týsnulo. Jsou tam quality of life changes, byl tam ukázaný nový skill Holy Hammers, currency exchange, lze dávat favorites, kampaň, jsou tam skryté uličky, nějaký additional content a mnoho dalšího se dozvíme za 10 sekund, takže jdeme na to. Live reakce 3.28. Doufám, že to bude MS Rades. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to GGG Live. Today we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Mirage, which is coming out 1 week from now on March 6th.
Mirage.
Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so you'll be able to claim your Mirage weapon effect by following the instructions below. Now first things first, let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile Mirage.
Tak jo, trailer tady.
They were bound to serve, but not to suffer.
Dobrý portálek.
The Aphrodite sought our land,
Apky v
trampled by
zóně.
Jinn in an astral plane. Break their chains, rescue them, and you will be granted a wish.
Vysypací hodiny.
An ancient evil yearns for his freedom. We must keep him in the dark.
What? What the fuck? Inbred games? Oh my gosh. Find new uniques. Restore them. Holy scales. Exceptional support. Keepers to core, to už víme. Atlas. Memory Vault. Reliquary and Ascendancy and much more. Tak, evidentně kotel contentu. Takže docela moc dohralý. Takže
In today's stream, we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile Mirage, where you'll unravel ancient mysteries, unlock new powerful rewards, and become part of the eons-old story of the Winter Sekima. There are also significant in-game changes coming alongside Mirage, including a progression of the in-game storyline, a new in-game atlas system, and as always, new rewards to match.
40 nových exceptional support gameů.
Skills and supports, as well as an additional Ascendancy class option added to the Scion, which some of you may find familiar. Next, we'll cover our new supporter packs, and then lastly, have a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile game director Mark, as well
Hodně
as
kontentu.
questions from Twitch chat.
Ten endgame overhaul nebo endgame rozšíření už něco bylo víceméně týznuto, že odstranil Horizon odběr. Ještě ty druhý. Teďka se vzpomínám ty jméno. A reporty.
In Path of Exile Mirage, you'll be taking on the Aphrodite, a sect of desert-dwelling necromancers.
Vypadá dobře, ale líbí se mi, jak jsou zpracovaný. Tady ta borka, asasinka.
With no home or promised land. Instead, they seek their sovereignty through darker means. The Aphrodite have captured the souls of Jinn throughout REAKCE. They are killing them, sapping their energies for purposes unknown. You must fight your way past the Aphrodite's necromantic creations to find the captive Jinn. Here, Virashta, an ancient Marikith sorceress, has been doing what she can to protect the Jinn, but she needs your help to free them. After successfully defeating them, you will then be asked by Virashta to enter the Astral Realm and break the tether trapping the Jinn there. This gate to the Astral Realm is a mirage, an imperfect copy of the area around the captured djinn. Now, when we say an imperfect copy, we mean that quite literally. Hold tight, because this leak mechanic has some serious implications for juicing areas. We'll get to that in a moment. Varashta can augment the magic of the Mirage further, as she allows you to enter, giving you the option to choose one of 3 wishes before you do so.
What is your desire?
These wishes are
Make your
modifiers
wish.
that will apply to the Mirage area and have some pretty
Mapy.
potent outcomes.
Convert equipment to
There are
gold.
wishes that grant extra rewards,
Scroll found
such as the wish for glyphs,
odd
which
currencies.
causes all portal and
Wish for
wisdom scrolls in the
glyphs.
Mirage to instead drop as other currencies. Or wishes that will spawn rewarding enemies, such as the wish for avarice, which replaces a number of packs in the area with gilded enemies that convert their equipment drops to gold. And wishes that can grant you
Soul
extreme
Eater.
power while inside the Mirage,
Bronze gem
such as the wish for
cache.
souls or the wish for godhood, which allow you to consume the souls of your enemies
Players in Mirage
or
area cannot
make you
die.
completely unkillable, while within the Mirage, of course. Each wish is also marked with the sigil of one of 3 powerful djinn: the Sand Djinn, Fire Djinn, or Water Djinn. Depending on the sigil chosen, monsters within the affected Mirage will have a small chance to drop one of 3 new coin currencies: a coin of knowledge, coin of power,
Corrupt skill gems.
coin of
Corrupt
skill.
skill gem.
Each of these coins can be used on a max-leveled skill gem, corrupting it and augmenting it with a random support that matches the color of the
What
coin used.
the fuck?
Only one skill that is imbued this way can be socketed into a given equipment item at a time, meaning you cannot have 2
Já
imbued
jeden,
skill
no,
gems
to
in your
bylo
body
moc silný, to je
as an
logický.
example.
Choose what you wish
That's one of the rewards, but let's get back to the area-to-area mechanic.
for you.
Once you've made your choice of wish, enter the Mirage and fight your way through the monsters and astral hazards to find the tether holding the djinn. Shatter this chain to free the djinn, step by step weakening whatever dark plans the Ufarud may have for Rayclast. Wishes are not the only value a Mirage has to offer to an enterprising exile. As we mentioned earlier, Mirages are an imperfect copy of the area the djinn occupies in Rayclast.
Jo,
And it
double
will
essence.
copy almost anything, as long as it's within the domain of the djinn. Mirages created from an endgame map, for instance, will have all Scarab, Atlas, and map modifiers the area has.
Double Joe stejně dobrý.
Mirages created next to a strongbox will have a new strongbox ready for you to open. Blights can be defended again.
Double Blights. To
Legions fought once more, and
je
so on.
dobrý, to je super, to je super.
Effectively, you get a portion of your map to play a second time, and everything you did to enhance the content of that map applies in the Mirage too. These recreated copies of League mechanics, however, have been warped into reality by the power of the Mirage. And this has some side effects. For one, a recreation may not be perfect. The factions of a legion may differ from the one the Mirage copied. Or, the variety of strongboxes may change. More importantly, the mechanic may be empowered, with new threats and rewards that are customized to each mechanic and are only
Opalescence
available when doing
Strongbox.
that mechanic in the Mirage. For example,
Je to zábavný, vypadá to, je to kombinace starších mechanik, ale takové jakoby s zajímavým shiftem. Jo.
Or quicksand will grasp at your ankles. As a reward for these new threats, Mirage ultimatums can provide the new sinistral or dextral catalysts. These catalyze jewelry with increased effect of either prefix or suffix modifiers. As you can imagine, there's a lot of potential here.
Ten potenciál to je
Another example is
obrovský.
that Kalgurin ore recreated in the Mirage has a chance to be replaced by a thaumaturgic hourglass, a powerful magical device that your Kalgurin friends can mine in order to obtain vast quantities of thaumaturgic dust. Blight encounters recreated in Mirages have one of their lanes replaced by Ufferrude enemies, infested with blight. This lane can reward a new base type, the Cord Belt. The implicit of this belt allows
Cord
it
belt
to be
cannot be annoyed.
causing it to grant
can be
a
annoyed.
passive tree notable of your choosing.
Proč ne?
As a quick note, Imprisoned Djinn will generally be near the content they can empower in the Mirages, so you don't need to worry too much about getting lucky with where your content generates in an area. As the campaign doesn't generally contain too much additional League content for the Mirages to empower, we've gone and added a whole bunch that will force spawn near the Djinn, so your campaign experience will double down on being more action-packed and rewarding. Now, of course, if you're
Jako
traveling through
pěkná,
Mirages,
velký potenciál mechanika může být, nebo vypadá zábavně. Myslím si, že je to kombinace takových starších mechanik k sobě a takovým s novým jakoby nápadem, novým shiftem. Připomíná mi to Scorch, připomíná mi to Synthesis, ale líbí se mi, jak to pojali jinakším jakoby pointem, jo.
That has been tarnished and befouled. Its rusted and jagged edge is perfect for poisoning and withering your enemies. However, Varushta has in her command the power to restore these once lost Maraketh treasures to their former glory. Acquiring a coin of restoration by slaying monsters in Mirages allows any unique obtained from the Ufferrude to be transformed into its Maraketh counterpart, its glorious original form. Flesh Render, for example, transforms into Sky Sunder, the original Maraketh blade that radiates with the glowing heat of the desert sun. When you ignite monsters, Sky Sunder reflects that ignite back to you, which proliferates to nearby enemies in a massive area. If you meddle with the affairs of the Ufferrude for too long, though, you may draw the ire of the Mirage League's new in-game boss, Suresh of the Weeping Black. Suresh also has a
You
set
have
of
Diamond
powerful
Shrine buff
exclusive items.
while affected by no
Yours for
class.
the taking,
Resistance Shrine
if you're
while
able to
affected by
defeat him.
class. Content.
So that's the Mirage League. Now, to face all the new evils, you might want some righteous skills.
Jako mechanika jednodušší, poměrně rychlá, mobky, double content. Já myslím, že to, co lidi chtějí, si myslím, že by mohlo být fun to play. Jako stejný módy, ať už v mapě nebo v Mirage zóně. Nevím, jak ta zóna je velká nebo tak. Každopádně nový skilly, nový strike skilly spíš.
An additional holy hammer will cascade forwards, which itself can further cascade.
Tohle je takový smite, ne? Smite s kladívkem.
Expending a power charge when using the skill will cool down an additional 2 hammers, which can also cause cascading.
Vůbec máte nějakou jináčí
The
trinitu.
more numerous your foes,
Tam
the
je
more instruments of holy
chybí
judgment.
lightning, ne? Že by trinity.
Sweep is an old skill. In fact, it is so old that it's one of the very first skills ever implemented
Co uděláš
in
se sweepem,
Path of
no?
Exile, over 15 years ago.
15
It's
let,
been
jo.
long overdue for some attention.
Ukažte něco epickýho, co
It has
epickýho.
been reworked into holy sweep.
What?
This skill converts some of your physical damage to lightning with shiny new effects to match.
Physical
Some
damage to
enemies struck by the
lightning.
initial sweep will
Tady
have
to s
hammers of
explodem,
light battling
tyjo.
from above. These hammers cause area damage where they land, so clustered enemies are demolished by repeated impacts. When successfully hitting an enemy with Holy Strike, you'll summon forth a floating holy armament, a glowing mace that follows you closely. These weapons are minions, and will attack with Holy Strike themselves.
Takhle to vypadá strašně, představte si, že když takhle to bude člověk hrát 6 hodin v kuse, tak z těch 3 skeptrů nebo mací ho bude doslova drbat hlava. Doslova ho to bude z toho jebat.
Which will allow you to unleash a cone of holy light upon enemies after blocking a hit with your shield. Additional cones of light will also pour forth from your nearby allies when you hit with the skill, allowing you to recruit your holy army to create purging light. Divine Blast emits a beam of holy light from your shield, coalescing into a hovering ball of energy. A few moments later, this unstable orb bursts, exploding outward with divine power. Hallow supports melee attacks, causing them to inflict a new debuff, Hallowing Flame.
Hallowing
Flame builds up as charges on enemies, getting consumed when attacked. Consuming a stack of Hallowing Flame gives the attack that consumed it a significant amount of extra fire damage.
To asi chyba u mě.
When they're online.
Tohle, what? To se moc nelíbí, tady to. To mě chyba nebo u mě?
We've also added sources of this debuff to a number of other places, such as unique items, cluster jewels, and the Guardian Ascendancy class. We also have another batch of new
Škoda je to, že nedávají to nějaké jakoby dual streamy na YouTube. Tam by to mohlo být možná lepší. Shockwave Totem of Authority.
Which casts its higher damage dealing nova at your location instead of its own. You might also enjoy Orb of Storms of Squalls. These storms warp directly to targets when you use lightning skills, and arc lightning upon doing so. This gives you a mobile storm of destruction.
To je špatná kombinace.
We'll leave the rest of the transfigured skills for you to comb
tady ten showcase není zrovna moc, jakoby, moc, není moc přesný, jo, ale vypadá to cool, když člověk má dostatek cast speedu a tak dále.
Expanded the passives available to the Templar section of the passive tree, and various improvements to existing holy themed skills such as Static Strike,
Holy
Flame Totem,
Holy Flame Totem,
and Dominating Blow. We're also doing our usual improvement to some of the least played Ascendancy classes. This time with a focus on Guardian and Warden. Speaking of Ascendancies, let's talk about the Scion. Reliquarian Ascendancy class. For those that have played the Legacy of Freshia events, this class will seem familiar. The Reliquarian is a learned Scion that has studied history at the Oriath Academy. She is a part of a secret society of Oriathans dedicated to collecting and discerning the strange properties of unique items. All of her passive powers come from these unique items, found from throughout Rayclast. First select the power of a unique armor.
Armor of Display.
Victario's influence increases the level of all your auras and gives them a much larger area of effect. Or instead, take Kilowava's Bluster, giving you a chance to have extreme elemental resistance against incoming hits. Next, pick from a unique weapon power. Widow Hail greatly increases the bonuses gained from your quiver. Or Martyr's Teaching, which causes your minions' critical strike chance with attacks to be equal to your main hand weapons. Lastly, pick your Crown Jewel, a unique jewelry power. Astral Projector causes nova spells to cast from enemies rather than from yourself.
Ale tohle může být zajímavý, protože oni tam dali prostě, dají tam nějaký ty core unity, které jsou prostě, které jsou mandatory do nějakých buildů. A tady máš trošku jakoby univerzálnější možnosti do toho, na co z pohledu nějakého jakoby build teorii. V podstatě dává smysl, aby to bylo univerzální. Takže jako proč ne, že jo? A ten nápad byl z té Fenecie, že jo? Tam byl Scavenger, taky byl upravený. Nevím, co tam bylo, ale možná na to, že to určený, myslím. To, že to mám.
And streamlining or removing the more frustrating tasks. Extensive changes will be coming to the Atlas and how you engage with maps, without interfering with the beloved core experience that has made mapping so successful. In the last few in-game updates, You
Tak schválně.
experienced Zana's story. How she helped defeat the Elder, tried to stop exiles from going mad in the Atlas, and faced new threats pouring forth from it. In the most recent expansion, she
Tohle to
eventually
memory.
realized that there was only one way forward, to destroy the Atlas. Zana's recent actions have now weakened the already strained and tattered edges of its realities, reshaping how we interact with the Atlas entirely.
To explain how this changes your interactions with the Atlas, we first want to establish some context while having a bit of a trip down memory lane.
27 expansions ago, back in Path of Exile 3.1.0, the War
Tohle
for the Atlas,
old,
we had a mechanic on the Atlas where the
hodně
Shaper
old
and
stylish.
Elder were engaged in war. This manifested as influence regions on the Atlas that affected specific maps. The ever-changing influence regions made the Atlas feel more like a physically connected space, rather than just a fancy way of visualizing a checklist of completed maps. However, one of the main frustrations with this mechanic was that you constantly needed many different specific maps in order to manipulate the influenced regions.
We
to
realized
tak,
we'd
no.
love to again have mechanics that manifest physically on your Atlas, but we'd have to address the issue of always needing those specific maps.
The first major change we'll be making to solve this is divorcing map items from specific areas. As an example, instead of having a Mesa map, you will now find, say, a Tier 10 map. To open a Mesa map now, just locate and select Mesa on your Atlas, put in your map item, click activate, and you're good to go.
Tohle převzali de facto z PoE2 svým způsobem.
You can then immediately return to your map device, which will default to the last map run, and then run it again. Or choose a new map to use it on. It's your choice.
Lol. Tohle by se mi líbilo i v PoE2. Ale tohle je dobrý. Prostě máš placeholder de facto, T1, můžeš jít jakoukoliv mapu, kterou asi máš zachozenou. Jo, a hodně zjednodušený map device. Tohle je huge, tohle je huge.
You can seamlessly swap to your boss farming Atlas tree and spam Mesa for peak boss killing efficiency. Up until now, this would have required having some Mesa maps stashed, setting all your favorite maps to Mesa, or doing a whole bunch of trading. You'll also notice that the structure of the Atlas has changed. If you haven't played in a while, here's a look at it before and after.
Lol.
You will now begin at the center of the Atlas, with each corner housing one of 4 voidstone slots.
Tam to ukazuje hezky.
In addition, all content accessed from your map device now exists physically
Mě
on
by
the
zajímalo,
Atlas,
co jsou ty
so you
modrý
can see everything
ty modrý jsou
available
mechaniky.
as you reveal the fog of war. This also means that all unique maps are now present on the Atlas, including some old favorites that are appearing for the first time. Don't worry though.
Ukazují tam i recepty, to mi se tam neukazovalo. Si myslím, že tam ukázalo, to je dobrý. Tam dokonce i ta, ježiškota. Ježiš, jak se to jmenuje, Paradajska. Content Paradise. Že vypadala? Že byla v kódu? 138?
These have been moved to new places, and actually, you can get more than before.
To je o 6, ne?
Due to Zana's actions, Egan now has a new goal and is determined to stop Zana's destruction by making use of a mysterious new discovery, arcane astrolabes. Zana is currently traversing the threads that weave the Atlas together, severing them. With these new astrolabes, Egan is able to trace her movement, but using them causes dangerous side effects.
Neříkej, že tohle použiješ a budeš
When you
mít
use an astrolabe
tam
on a
furt
map
tu
of the
mechaniku.
Atlas, a shaped region will manifest itself in that quadrant, affecting many of the maps within it. There are many different kinds of astrolabes,
Můžeš to kombinovat.
and they apply different types of shaped regions. For example, an abyssal region, which causes all the maps to have an additional abyss. Or a blighted region, which adds a blight encounter. Completing the content added by the astrolabe will remove the shaped region's influence from that map. Upon doing so, every other map remaining in the shaped region will gain an additional modifier. This means as you progress through the shaped region, maps you run will become more and more intense.
Tohle je de facto převzatý starý, hodně ten starý Shaper Elder influence, která se tam naháněla.
Once you have successfully rid the atlas of the shaped region, Egan will take you to one of 4 memory vaults, where there are powerful rewards to be had. He cares only for the knowledge hidden within that vault, so any items are yours for the taking. Each vault is associated with a specific quadrant on the atlas, so you're able to target a certain vault if you're wanting to try get a specific type of reward.
Budeš stíhat furt nějakou tu, že jo, už jenom z principu.
You'll be rewarded with powerful unique items. Or the Zealot's Vault to acquire valuable currency items.
To je zase kombinačka z Grand Heistu.
This new shaped region system is one that promotes running many different maps. But for players that want to engage with this new system while still wanting to run the same map over and over again, the synthesized stability keystone on the Atlas tree enables exactly that. With all the new endgame changes, we thought it would be also good to mention some handy tips and tricks for quickly navigating the new Atlas. When using the map device, the Atlas defaults to your previously run map.
Dobrý.
So running the same map over and over is as few clicks as possible.
Tohle, když se to vezme, tak oni vlastně třeba v jedničce ty tady trošku jakoby usnadňují to, aby si... Okay.
When you select a special area that requires multiple items, such as to fight at Zeri or open the domain of timeless conflict,
tohle je dobrý. Tohle usnadní hodně třeba věcí nováčkům, nebo kdo není tak zajetej v tomhle. To je úplně super.
That's the core of the new endgame. But there's a lot more endgame changes coming in 328. Let's blast through them.
Jo, ale neviděl jsem někde jakoby map mod. De facto, to byl asi nahrazený tím astrolabem, de facto.
And we wanted to continue to minimize busy work, so you can spend more time doing what you love, killing monsters and getting loot. To that end, we've made a number of changes. We won't get into too much detail, but here's a quick summary of what you can expect to have received adjustment. We've removed cartographer's chisels and map device crafts entirely. The loss of content and loot here has been compensated for in other places.
Okay.
Voidstones now grant special global bonuses while socketed on your atlas. Including adding the new Originator Voidstone, which enables specific atlas bosses to drop exceptional supports. We'll elaborate more on that in the next section. T17 maps as you know it have effectively been removed. The bosses have been kept around, and they now fulfill their original purpose of being a gateway to target farm uber pinnacle bosses.
Oni removnuli
The most
17.
annoying modifiers on originator maps have been removed or replaced. No more getting turned into a slug for simply using skills. And no more will you be incapable of dealing damage periodically.
OK, tohle jsou super změny, ty 16.
Mental skills in originator maps have been removed. However, some of their effects are now available from the altars and memory threads. Memory tears, instead of adding a memory thread to your atlas, will now drop an itemized version of that thread, allowing you to save it for later or trade it at your leisure.
OK, to je dobrý.
We've added new scarabs.
Nový skarabis, nový mechanikové jaslí.
Scarab of infusion, which can generate some truly tempting logbooks.
Logbook hezky se implicity. Exceptional Rogue Exile, tyhle, ten ti dá IK před co mapku, ne?
Will place a true antagonist level Rogue Exile threat in your map. Empowered by every type of Wildwood Wisp, possessed by a tormented spirit, or
tohle bude nejlepší Juice, o co?
and affected by a shrine, this exile is not to be trifled with.
Si budem, tady ty exilové, tohle to je největší smrti, to jsou. To jsou největší smrti, největší.
Which now causes all 3 Beyond bosses to appear when a Beyond boss would spawn in your map.
Rafo.
On top of that, we've made improvements to a number of weak Atlas tree passives, such as Pillage and Plunder, which now grants a chance for items dropped by Syndicate members
Praktično to je
to have a
velet
faction
mod.
failed mod. Check out the new The Paths Not Taken Keystone, which means your maps on average will drop twice as many divination cards. But which ones can drop will be a mystery. And last, but not least, we've also made some changes to King's March shipping, such as we've swapped the rewards given by sending ore and crops. I wonder what this new port will send back. Ports will now give more rewards for favored resources, and you can even re-roll them for gold, if
To je
they're not
dobrý,
offering what you're after.
ale většinou já jsem neposlal žádnou 50 milionovou lodičku, žádnou. Vím, že lidi to jakoby farmili, ať už v té lize, nebo když to bylo v kodu, já jsem ty goldy využíval jinak. Ale proč ne? Proč jako quality of life změna, I like. Tohle s Matchbloodem, bych mi furt to.
We mentioned
Exceptional
the
support
originator
system.
Voidstone, enabling access to exceptional supports. So let's get into that, as there's a decent amount to cover. After defeating the incarnations of Fear, Neglect, and Dread, you will obtain the originator Voidstone. As mentioned earlier, this Voidstone allows new exceptional support gems to drop from many bosses across the Atlas. These new supports are an improvement over the old Awakened support system, which is being phased out. Awakened supports have long been a capstone investment for a character, but there's existed a gulf between the more interesting ones, such as Awakened Spell Cascade, which has some additional transformative effect, as opposed to some of the simpler Awakened supports, which just have slightly higher numerical values. Exceptional supports will all be transformative, serving as an additional late-game tool to customize your build around, and extending character customization and creation even later into a build's life.
Dali to nejlepší.
Is to provide interesting build
Cold now
choices
recovery
even at
support.
later levels
Hey,
and into the end
Cock
game.
is back. Cock is
However,
back.
We are certainly not aiming to reduce top-end player power with these changes. Exceptional supports will still be super strong. If used well, they will catapult your character even further than before. So, how many are there, and what exactly do they do?
Tam budou nějaký broken věci.
There are over 40 new
Máš
exceptional
40
supports
nových
to discover,
gemů, který
adding
de facto
additional enticing drops to bosses that may
můžou
otherwise have
být
felt
game
not as
changer nebo
worthwhile to
build
run,
changer.
giving players extra reason to take on those challenges. For instance,
Hex
from the
Toad.
King in the Mists, we have the Hex Toad support. This support creates areas of swampy, cursed ground, which spawns toads that bounce towards enemies and then explode, dealing chaos damage. From the Uber Elder, we have the Void Storm support, which causes your raining attacks to create celestial storms of energy that grow over time, detonating as you approach for massive damage. Defeating the incarnation of Neglect may win you the Frost Mage support. Similar to the existing Archmage support, you are rewarded for stacking mana to enhance your spells with extraordinary cold damage. We'll tease some more of these before launch, but there will be many,
Tohle bych
many
klidně
more for you to discover.
viděl jako hodně playable
Kings
game,
of the Flame is
Protože-
coming back.
protože jako Menastak,
Do know that many players have issues
hratelný,
with walls and high
hraje
mountains.
se tam,
In order to address these concerns,
hrál jsem
we've made
všelijaký
a number of
možnosti a
changes.
jak to bylo, Frost Mage support?
Walls would block your projectiles, meaning that when a hive randomly spawned in your map, it would make it
Tak
hard to clear.
jak to je, Keepers to core, Breach to core,
Walls and hive encounters will now be destroyed by any damage.
tak to je dobrý tady to.
But we also
Ježiš,
wanted to
kopa.
make sure we reduce the visual clutter they cause. Hives and their walls are now smaller. To allow players to engage with hive encounters quicker,
Mě by zajímalo, jaký budou ty
we
talenty v tom
We've
stormě.
added a new Atlas passive which drastically increases the detonation area of unstable burrows, causing them to reliably chain react and destroy the majority of remaining walls. For those who don't want to deal with the walls at all, there's now a pair
Můžeš
of
to-
keystones that allow you to block
Ooh,
hive
okay.
encounters or
nechceš dělat nějaký encounter, tak to prostě si
Now that this is a
Než,
core
že?
league, we don't want you to have to grow your Genesis tree from scratch on every league start. So now, each womb gift slot is already usable by default, and access to the Monastery of the Keepers will be gained by finding Aelith starting in Act 6 Mudflats.
OK, přece
Now
máš
with
to
Atlas
ready.
Tree and Scarab support, you can have multiple unstable breach encounters active in a single area for maximum ruckus.
Jako ten strom mě... OK, vidíš to, hodně dobrý.
Here are a few
Máme tady
examples.
techniku.
The Massing Forces Atlas notable grants a chance to have additional unstable breaches
Abych to
elements.
odpověděl, tak ten strom v Breachi silná věc,
The breach
Unique je
scarab of
taky
the
silný.
Marshal guarantees a breach loss or high fortress. While the breach scarab of the
Záleží, jak
Incense
bude se
Sword
získávat
replaces
ten,
all of
ta
Aelith's
karence,
skills
že jo, nebo
and rage
ne, že
life,
karence, ale
increasing the
ten
difficulty
zdroj
and
toho
reward
pro
from
ty
high
vytváření
forces
těch
in all subsequent
giftů, nebo
waves.
jak se to jmenovalo. Ale
Graft
ty
items
uniky,
will no longer exist,
ty
but
uniky
we've
tam byly
moved
dobrý.
several of the graft skills to
Ale
new
já nevím,
exceptional
jestli tam...
supports. Such as the Hiveborn support, which summons an army of breach minions to do your bidding when you use a supported offering skill. And the Foul Grasp support, which calls forth a field of grasping breach hands when you recall brands, exploding for heavy lightning damage when enemies approach them.
Nový brand, vole.
We're looking forward to seeing how these improvements and additions are received, alongside a lot of what Keepers also has to offer. From the new bosses in their bloodline, through to the Genesis tree and its many different crafting options, like Foulborn Uniques. Also with its new narrative, we look forward to extrapolating on all of this and learning more about Aelith, the Hiveborn, and its Breach Lords in the future. That covers all the new content we're adding, and that was a lot. From a new in-game system, several new reward types, new ways to juice maps, all of which you can double up in the new Mirage League, and all that alongside a suite of new holy skills, a new ascendancy class,
Jako
and an
na,
insane
dali
amount
tam
of
toho
new character
hodně,
customization in the in-game.
velmi, velmi hodně. To
However,
jako...
an important part of
Poboučili
public
zase.
cell expansions is making sure there is a continued effort to improve quality of life. So let's get into that now.
Já ukážu, jaký má quality of
You
life.
can now favorite trades on the currency exchange.
Favorite
This consists of
flip
selecting two
is
currencies
back.
you want to be able to trade between with a single click.
Tohle je super, lidi si tam dají prostě Chaos to Orb
Favorite trades
a má to prostě uložení, co prostě tam chce. Nakupuje esence, nakupuje skaraby, co prostě hraje. Tohle je super quality of life. A inventář taky lze už od toho otevřít, což je taky super. Automatické otevírání divination karet. A hlavně můžeš to spamovat z inventory. Taky super. Taky super věc.
Labyrinth font crafts that previously gave a random transfigured gem.
Tady si teďka můžeš vybrat. Tohle je taky super. To lidi velmi ocení, protože ty se více mi nehrajou. Uvidíme, jako, jaký roli se změní. Tak, ukážte to.
The ritual icon will now glow if you've got significant unspent tribute in an area and all rituals are complete. And a pop-up will appear after the final ritual completion. Also on the topic of ritual, you can now quick use vessels on completed rituals.
To je taky
Have
šikovný.
you ever tried to click a divine shrine surrounded by enemies and find it extremely difficult to click?
Přesně tak.
Well, shrines now take priority over monsters when clicking in an area they overlap.
Ne.
Since 3.24, we've been looking
Jo,
to add
tady jsou
new
ty,
ways
jak
to
jsem říkal na
improve
začátku,
campaign experience, and 3.28 is no
campaign
different.
improvementy,
This patch
v
we've
určitým
added over 20
zónách
landmark
jsou
rules throughout the
skrytý
campaign,
místnosti s nějakýma věcma,
staggering across all 10
plánkama,
maps.
tak dále.
Some of these reward some pretty useful stuff. So keep an eye out for the new and unexpected rooms.
Většinou to vždycky bude pomáhat v rámci toho levelingu. Jo, nejde to nic, co by tam jako bylo nějak game changer nebo tak, ale je to spíš takový fun efekt počas té story. Jak na to člověk narazí omylem
Next up, we're going to be talking about our
Nový
new
support
supporter
packy.
packs.
Minulý support packy s tím hideoutem, ty jsou celkem byly pěkný.
Curator of Wisdom
Ukáž.
and Iron Incarcerator packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Curator of Wisdom series of supporter packs contains 7 exclusive microtransactions. The Traveling Wisdom back attachment has all the necessary tools you may require to chronicle your journey, complete with a helpful rat friend. These chronicles will activate their magic upon identifying items, and will track the number of items identified of each rarity. Just hover the item, or link it in chat to show it off. The Acquired Wisdom unique finisher effect summons an ancient scroll that consumes unique enemies and the knowledge they hold. Most exiles would struggle carrying
Tohle není špatný armor, jako čestka, velmi detailní, takovej dobrodruh. Vypadá celkem cool, jo, ten kloberc.
As you cast spells, the scrolls attached to the armor will burn away before rematerializing shortly after.
Dobrý.
It also features a series of helmet variations, so you can get precisely the look you're after. Summon your Scroll Shaper familiar pet to follow alongside you. This creature is formed from folded magical texts.
Conan z Naruta, tyjo. A trošku jim to laguje. Nezvládajem to. Tady má to cool.
Reforming into a flying bird. This series of packs also contains the Scroll Portals. Jumbo-sized versions of the Scroll of Wisdom and Portal Scroll that you can make a quick retreat through. A supreme catalogue of knowledge can't remain in one place for too long and risk being pillaged by thieves. The Titan Apex Hideout features a colossal titan who carries your base of operations atop their shoulders, constantly moving through a boundless desert. The Iron Incarcerator pack also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Incarcerator's Restraints back attachment features stockades that were used to immobilize prisoners by binding them to the earth as they were tortured for their wrongdoings. Shackles envelop your choice of torturing device when using the Chains of the Incarcerator weapon effect. These chains shatter into links as you batter enemies. Make your way through Red Class as a walking penitentiary, intimidating your enemies with the elite Iron Incarcerator armor set. After a long day of tracking down criminals, step into the Iron Maiden portal.
Iron Maiden portal? Nevypadá dobře. To je jak ten totem, ten má taky takovej efekt.
Was a favorite amongst incarcerators. They would be sent into the midst of prison riots to mesmerize and control the toughest of minds.
Ten pet se mi líbí.
Causing them to abandon their owners and follow in line behind you instead, at least until it wears off. What better way to execute prisoners when your torturing has depleted their value?
Tohle je snad největší portál, co udělali. Tohle je tak masivně velký, tyjo. OK, nahrává to killy.
Additionally, all microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Thank you so much for your
Asi ten první má asi větší valu, ten první.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full patch notes for Path of Exile Mirage.
Ten první.
11 a.m. New Zealand time, 2 p.m. Pacific. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news.
Tak to byl celý ten reveal. A se chci podívat, jestli se dostanu na tu stránku. Myslím, že bych mohl. Mirage. Já jsme tam, paráda. Řekl bych, že ten první pack, ten první pack má asi větší value. Je takový víc zajímavější. Je tam hideout. To není hideout, ne? Ne, tam je ten pet map device, no, pet map device, to je takový nevybalancovaný. Ale tady ten je tam, tady ten je dobrý, ten finisher backpack, whatever, ale spíš Pro Bundle portál, proč ne, 2 portály, Titan Apex Hideout, taky poměrně dobrý. A když to porovnám s tím minulým, tak jo, to je PoE1, si říkám, že to je nějaký divný. To je nějaký divný. Tady ten Radiant. To je špatný ten armor. A tady byl ten hideout, že jo, ten Arcane Isle. To. Tak, teda. Jako velmi dost kontentu. Miracle. To tady asi... Mirage will encounter souls, to retraps project to surveys, big decision, rush, Empower League rewards and to augment. Takže dokáže ta mechanika prostě augmentnout tu mechaniku nebo to Essence of Desolation. Shockwave has cooldown uses na ringách. Unleash +1. What? Restore Maraket Artifacts, to jsou prostě určitý uniky, co budou mít nějakou jinou schopnost. Cannot use life flask. Imboot your skills. Bloodlust. Ale těžko, jestli jsem, jo, můžeš tam dostat jiný supporty. Ty moho, to bude drahý jak zmrt. Ale ty vlastně nemůžeš dostat 21 plus jedničku, ne? 21 to? Když se to vezme. Nemůžeš, no. Tady ten boss prostě si ufikne hlavu a má to jako stavu. Jo. Suspend in time cast a spell. Paradise bude core drop, teda. A ten, co avizoval, že ten Atlas by měl být, že by to měl být fractionality nějak na ty zóny. Jako když se to vezme, ty si to hodíš prostě nějakou mapu a stejně nemůžeš chodit jinou mapu, že jo, potřebuješ hodit ty stejné mapy, ty jiné mapy. Když to prostě dál. To je taková jakoby mastery, ty původní, taková stará shape zóna. Ale jako proč ne, je to jako asi additional content. Jestli to lidi budou dělat na juicing, to asi těžko říct, protože lidi chtějí prostě chodit jednu mapu. Vědí, co teda. Tady jsou ty devady, Eclipse. Jeden plus level support skill 12 quality. Nightmare map. anarchii to ukazovali, to je ten workstonek, Reborn, Quality of Life, no. Jako nějaká suma sumárum, jo. Poměrně velký rework všeho, jo, nová liga, nová challenge liga si myslím, že bude poměrně fun to play. Máme tam vlastně dvě v podstatě mechaniky. Zabijeme, porte nás to dál, kde si vybíráme ten wish a následně to zase zabijeme znova. Pokud jsem to správně pochopil, takhle na první pohled. Kopíruje to mechaniky, kopíruje to vlastně celou map mody. Z těch mechanik to improvuje ty rewardy, takže taková jakoby combo juice mechanika. Proč asi ne? Wishes, je to takový ten typický micromanagement PoEčka, kde si zase budeme vybírat nějaké věci, které chceme. Většinou tam pak začátek to si to bude číst, následně prostě už to klikneš a nebo to bude se skipovat, to už je víceméně na těch hráčích jako takový. Je tam teda hodně těch rewardů, tady ukázka ty SMC. Uniky, který de facto jdou jakoby restaurovat na market, to jsou takový double unique, který má dva nový uniky de facto, když to řeknu hodně simple. Jo. Karence, která dokáže imbudnout náš skill na 20 s tím, že to přidá tam level 1 a nějaký support. Může to být, těžko říct, jak to bude jakoby insane nebo ne-insane. Nicméně plus jednička, může to být něco dobrýho. Třeba Ground Slam, Live Get on Hit, si myslím, že na hardcore může být dobrá věc. Tady máme co? Tady je Ground Slam, Bloodthirst jednička, těžko říct. Endgame Ghost to vlastně není nové, ale je to spíš boss v rámci mechaniky, takže nový encounter. Nový holy skilly, těžko říct, jaký budou. Ten holy sweep nevypadal špatně, ale nebavu si moc, to byl ten holy sweep. Jo. Ty vlastně s tím holy sweepem děláš, ty útočíš a spawnou se ti ty sekírky, nebo ty mejsky. Velký overhaul endgame systému, to si myslím, že je jakoby liga v lize, ten strom. Máme tam placeholder T1 mapy a T16 mapy, takže de facto si vybereme, jakou mapu my budeme chtít jít a de facto si ji zajdeme, protože nemusíme hledat tower mesu, ale budu mít T1, je to T1, prostě tam hodím a můžu jít, takže myslím si, že velký palec nahoru v tomhle tom, to se mi líbí, je to taky usadnění, přístupnění, také quality of life. Atlas de facto rozdělen na ty 4 regiony a člověk tam prostě bude chodit mapy dokola. Tady jsou ty shapenutý regiony ohledně nějakých mechanik, dá se tam blight, která umožňuje mít blight na každé mapě a postupně, co my odejdeme tu mapu, tak se to postupně bude víceméně ty body přidávat, takže něco taková ta typická memory, jak byla provázaná, tak teďka něco takového tady. Posledním, jakmile se odejdou všechny ty, kolik tam je 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6? Tady to asi píšou, taky tady hodím. Nebo každopádně odejdeme ty shapenutý regiony, tak následně máme poslední mapu, kde máme Vault a můžeme si vybrat z určitých typů. Je to taková směsice Grand Heistu, kde byly rewardy jakoby uniky, kde byly rewardy karenci a gemy a tak dále. Exceptional gemy, tudíž jsou to gemy jako Enlighten, Empower, Enhance a jsou to takový supporty, zase je 40, budou tam asi velmi broken věci, protože exceptional gemy jsou vždy velmi jsou vždy velmi silné, jak známe Enlighten, Empower, tohleto. Uvidíme, co tam bude dobrýho, co ne. Tak. Co tam se bylo? Jo. T17 de facto už nejsou, ale změnili to na ty Nightmare mapy, které jsou prostě, nevím, jak to bude asi. Nightmare mapa, je nějaká nová mapa úplně kompletně. These are now called Nightmare maps and now tier 16 with their purpose being to obtain fragments. Takže asi může se zajít normální mapa s tím, že to bude Nightmare šifnutý. Uvidí se. Každopádně, a tohle asi je stejný, lidi nebudou muset hrát ty retardovaný pose, jako občas to bylo takový pain. Jo, tady těch věcí je strašně moc teďka. Většinou to bývá skromnější. Bridge to Core a Quality of Life a to 6. března. Ohledně té mechaniky, pustím si ještě ten trailer. Jo. Nebo tady asi není už. Já jsem se podíval na tu mechaniku, jak přesně funguje ta mechanika. Ty de facto zabiješ, tam kde to bude zóna, je označená, ty to zabiješ. Zahrál si encounter a dostaneš swish. Vybereš swish. A teďka v té zóně budeš mít prostě více lootu nebo něco takového. Pokud tam bude content boss, tak to dostaneš. Pak tam je ty hodiny. Tyhle jeden dislike, jo. To je dobrý. Tohle je hodně dobrý, tyjo. To musím sklínat. Takže jsem velmi překvapený, protože toho kontentu tam přidali poměrně dost. Je tam dost změn v endgameu. Když se na tím člověk jakoby zapřemýšlí, tak ty mechanika toho Mirage je taková jednodušší, propojená skrz ty další mechaniky. Ale je tam hozený takový ten shift, nebo takový ten zábavnější shift, kdy prostě to mění ty staré mechaniky do něco nového zábavného. Ono v tom polečku, když se na tím člověk zapřemýšlí, tak si řekne, že ty mechaniky dělat v těch mapách je poměrně pain. A dělat mechaniku mimo mapu je jednoduchý, že jo. A většinou ty mapy ve stylu, nebo ty mechaniky ve stylu, jdeš nějakou mapu, bude tam portál, ten něco zabiješ, jdeš pryč, nebo bude tam nějaká věc, na kterou klikneš a ono to spavne atky. Jo, takže tam zase tady vymyslí něco atraktivního, zábavného, nevšedního. Myslím si, že Mirage je kombinací mechanik a může to být fun to play. Jo, to se uvidí. Takže každopádně suma sumárum jsem spokojený. Očekávejte nějaký další videjka k těm dalším věcem. A uvidíme se s tím. Takže děkuji všem. Přeji vám hezký zbytek dne, večera a doufám, že i vám se to líbí. Takže děkuji všem a s tím ahoj.